Hello, managers. Welcome to the very first, and I mean first, Commish note for VR12. The first video chat that we are introducing this year. Will it continue weekly? I do not know. We're going to find out throughout the course of the season. So guys, here's what I have in store for us. The greatness of fantasy football is back, which means the NFL is here, which means our hearts as Cowboys fans, most of us, will probably be ripped out, stomped on, and basically making us want to hurl the entire season. We have that to look forward to, so be excited. If you're not excited, get excited. If you're not getting excited, rethink your evaluation of everything and then get excited. So boys, here's what I have for you today. We have a little bit of a breakdown. Week 1 is in the books. We are already moving along so far, so fast. I don't want to completely divvy out everything that Poncho, as the previous commissioner, for 10 solid years, has done. We are going to keep some of the stuff that he has done in the years past, and we're going to evolve it, make it better, continue to improve our league. That's our goal. This year, we added a new member, James Houdini Carlock. I really hope at some point he changes his team name to say something involving Houdini, because that's only fitting. He is an Eagles fan, so, let that be what it is. But what we have here, guys, is we actually have our first standings now. Week 1 is in the book. Right now, Feed Blanco, numero uno, the head honcho, the top dog. No pun intended, Blanco being a dog and all. Then you have his football watching buddy, Clam Crowder, a.k.a. Sergio, sitting in second place. Third man on the totem pole, that of the Florida native, a.k.a. Mr. Gerv the Swerve, Matt Gervitz. Fourth place, the reigning champion, Darshan, currently residing in the capital of the best state in the world, Texas. You know where it is, ATX. Fifth place on the league, cashing in his first career victory in VR. That would be James Houdini Carlock. Congrats on your first ever win. And then sixth place, and the last of all the winners, that would be of AK, beating yours truly. So, on to the loser side of things, week 1. Don't panic, it is literally week 1. First up is the great team known as #AssEatingSeason. We all hope he changes his team name, because it's stupid. But Ponchal sits at the top of the losers side. Next, you have Mr. Out Like a Light, and literally, he went out like a light on Monday night. So, following him, you have Always Sunny in DJville. DJ and his clever names, gotta love him. Followed by Akon's Dog Pound, now newly named Convicts Dog Pound. I like the little team adjustment name. It's pretty cool. Followed by me, the underdog, and pulling up in last place, as he finished last year, Luis. He's saving DJ's spot. He's this close to having to rename that to saving Luis his own damn spot. But we're going to have to let that one slide. On to the matchups, you guys. The first matchup we're going to talk about, and this is only fitting that we start this way because, if you're being honest, it's the one that needs to be talked about the most. Not really, but it's the one that's been most hyped. If I look up, I'm apologizing right now. I'm watching the USA-Mexico friendly at the moment. So, USMNT fans, let's go. If you're not a USMNT fan, I really don't care. Let's still go. But the first matchup would be the start of the Revenge Tour. Y'all know what's up. Y'all have heard it for a while. I'm going to continue to say it because guess what? We're at least guaranteed another 12 weeks of the Revenge Tour, and we're going to get every frickin' penny of it. If it ends in 12 weeks, it ends in 12 weeks. But guess what, boys? We're in for the frickin' ride. So this entire video, and I have just set up a stream going forward. I have to wait 24 hours apparently for it to be activated, so manually doing it on my phone, and then I'm going to upload it. All these should go on to YouTube from now on, weekly. If I decide to do it through a video chat, we'll see how this one goes, and then if y'all like, I'll get y'all's responses, feedback, move on from there. But the first of this is our wonderful matchup on the Revenge Tour. First stop, the bus rolled on into AK's hometown of AKville? I don't know. Gujuville? We're going to go with it. So this matchup was the trashiest of trash matchups of the entire week. Both teams stunk it up. Going into the season, I happened to lose Jerick McKinnon with a wonderful ACL tear. It was fun. During the week, my tight end decided to fracture his ankle. Even funner. And then my second round pick, numero Leonard Fournette, my number one running back, decided to injure his hamstring about halfway through the first quarter after picking up 55 yards. Clearly on his way to annihilating the defense for the entire game. Didn't happen. That's the way fantasy football goes sometimes. Unfortunately, it happened to me week 1. Second consecutive year that's happened. Ponchal. Oh, I just said Ponchal. Clearly, I'm screwing up. AK, apologize, went ahead with the nice little victory of 89.22 to 85.94. He won this on a Robbie Anderson Monday Night Football touchdown. Funny story, Robbie Anderson had one target on the day, just happened to be a 41-yard touchdown. If we're being completely honest, neither team deserved this win. I honestly think Fournette doesn't get injured. I probably do win. Does that make up for the fact that I started Amendola, who stunk it up? Not a chance. If we're going to actually get the full breakdown here, let me actually pull up the matchup, give you an exact showing of who did what. AK won a matchup doing one thing that never happens in our league. That would be Mariota pulling in a solid 1.62 points for the week. He did get injured in this game, did not play the entire second half. You win a week with under 2 points from your QP. You know you just escaped barely to win that week. There's no other way unless your team just annihilated everyone they played. In this case, that was not the situation. Fitzgerald pulled in with 76 yards. Robbie Anderson with his amazing one catch on one target for 41 yards and a TD. Demaryius Thompson found the end zone. Melvin Gordon was the big cat here for sure for AK. He had 21.6 points, north of basically 20% of his entire points for his team. Clearly what he wanted there. Now it's the big cat. If you look over on my side of the things, I had Jarvis Landry and Odell both go over 100 yards. They were basically my entire source of my offense. That's just facts. Didn't come out with the victory this time for me. AK moves on 1-0, sitting in 6th place. Moving on to the next matchup on the list. I wonder who we should pick. Let's see. Which do I want to go to? Let's go to the last place team. Let's go with Luis next. Luis put up a whopping 64.64 points in week 1. Absolutely horrendous. He almost got beat by the amount of points that he scored, which by itself is yikes nation. Darshawn won 117.70 to 64.64. This is with Prescott scoring Darshawn a whopping 8.7 points. If you watched the game, as most of us did, you would expect him to have less than that, considering he did absolutely nothing for the entirety of the game, besides miss wide receivers, which is fun. I'm gonna do my best not to get into the fact of how much Dak is not good. I'll save it maybe for week 2, week 3, week 4. I'm sure I'll have plenty of chances to go over it with you guys. Allen Robinson, recovering from an ACL from last year, coming back, got the injury out of the way, put up a nice 61 yards. Is that great? No. Is it a positive sign that Trubisky actually can throw the ball? Yeah. I don't really remember him doing much of that at all last year, so the new revamped offense, the new weapons around him, let's see. I think Robinson's in store for a pretty solid year. Then you have Stephon Diggs. He's a guy that I predicted this year will have at least double-digit touchdowns on the season. Well, he started that off week 1, securing one of them, picking up 43 yards through the air, 8 yards on the ground, yeah, you heard me, 8 yards on the ground, and a receiving touchdown. Then, I don't know, Darshawn is Cowboy friendly starts Allen Hurns, who picked up a nice whopping 20 yards in total. And then you have the running back situation, which we all expected to be good. He has Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley went ahead and put up 23.7 points, the top dog on his particular team. Gronk also filled in with 19.3, and then a solid 18 points from a defense. Everyone loves that. Your defense, basically provides you the amount that you would expect from a good player on your team, running back, wide receiver, tight end, whatever. You're gonna probably win that week if you have that along with good play elsewhere. Switching sides over to Luis, you have Matt Ryan sitting at a solid 8.84 points. Surprisingly, he won the quarterback battle in his matchup. What? DeAndre Hopkins, I'll take blame. I have Deshaun Watson. He was rusty as all get out. DeAndre Hopkins only pulled in 78 yards. He did have a 7-yard rushing loss, because wide receivers week 1, getting rushing attempts is a thing. Golden Tate, solid 79 yards and a TD. Mike Williams, I know you're happy as a Chargers fan. Luis, got a nice little 81 yards. Respectable from your wide receiver 3. Absolutely. Dalvin Cook, his top running back, did not live up to the hype. Obviously, it's just week 1, so don't pay too much attention to it. But he ended up with 95 total yards, but he also lost a fumble, so 7.5 points for the week. Can he improve on it? Yes. Will he improve on it? Yes. We'll just have to wait and see how long it takes for him to get back in the feel of things following the injury that he's coming back from. Outside of Golden Tate, the second top scorer for him is Tevin Coleman. Thursday night, I'm sure none of us really expected that to be his top scorer heading into this week, but that's how it panned out. Had 10.5 points. He had a rushing touchdown, 26 yards receiving, and only 19 yards rushing. But hey, you find the end zone, you find pay dirt, you're good to go. That's all it is. Fantasy revolves around the end zone. That's just what it is. Travis Kelce, great tight end, 6 yards, trash. Kyle Rudolph, I think he only had one catch. He had one touchdown on one catch for 11 yards. If you're gonna get a touchdown, if you're gonna get one catch, make it a touchdown. AK did it with Robbie Anderson. Kyle Rudolph did it with Luis did it with Rudolph. Next, you have Jake Elliott and his defense, the Chargers defense, combined for a total of 1 point. -3 from the Chargers defense, 4 points from Jake Elliott. Not the ideal situation he had in mind. All right, moving to the next matchup. I moved to the last place team. Might as well move on up to the top place team. Feed Blanco versus Ponchal. Now, let's get into it. Ponchal, you lost. Bryant, you won. At some point this week, Bryant totally thought he lost, and I'm sure Ponchal totally thought he won. Ponchal, I'm sorry to tell you this, the Twitter curse, if you want to even call it a Twitter curse, Bryant went to Twitter, said his season's over with. Rodgers went down in the first half with an injury, was carted off, looked horrible, meniscus tear, possibly ACL tears, and an MCL. What's going on? It's Rodgers, back to the IR. Oh my Lord. Green Bay's panicking, right? Well, second half comes around. Hey, look, it's Rodgers. He's back on the field. He rose from the ashes like a freaking Houdini genius. And here he goes. Lights up. Geronimo Allison, touchdown. Randall Cobb, 716 yards, whatever the hell he got. He got $1 billion. And what you look at, and all of a sudden, Bryant's team just boom, 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 and he's right back in this. Ends up putting the highest point total on the week, 153.84 points compared to Ponchal's 131.66. Now, we look at this matchup breakdown here. Rodgers, injury and all, only threw for 286 yards. 3 touchdowns, ends up with over 30 points, almost 31 points. Mike Evans caught every pass that he was targeted on, as did basically everyone that played for Tampa Bay. New Orleans elite defense, it vanished with the Stephon Diggs Minnesota Miracle last season in the playoffs. I have no idea, but that defense was nowhere to be found. He racked up 147 yards and a TD. Obviously, Bryant's loving that pick early on. Can it continue? We'll see. It's Fitzmagic, baby. It's Fitzmagic. And then you have Adam Thielen, a guy that I personally am a big fan of, racking in 102 yards, picks up the bonus, ends up with just a little over 13 points. His wide receiver 3 ended up with 3 yards. DJ Moore, the top wide receiver, taking